Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going backwards again and I'm covering some more Matrix figures here. This is the third video being made on this channel for one of my favorite film franchises and quote toy lines, toys there being in quotations. I do have this big box here. It's a package I bought actually almost 2 years ago now. It's just been sitting on the sides here waiting to be filmed. It takes up my entire filming space here, and you can see that on the inside of this massive box I have quite a few of the sealed McFarlane Matrix figures, which released back when the first sequels were coming out in the early 2000s. The seller online had a decent enough deal. It's a bundle that included half of Series 1 and most of Series 2, which does complete my collection for at least Wave 2. Today though, I'm only going to be focusing on these Series 1 figures. Maybe in the future I'll cover some of the Wave 2 releases. I actually already have some of these figures in this bundle in my personal collection already, but the figures I was missing were Neo and Trinity. They were my main buying factors there. Morpheus was also released in Wave 1, so we'll take a look at his packaging because he's another figure I won't be covering in today's video. It's that plastic box shell that McFarlane was so popular with producing in the 2000s. Very nostalgic. If you're new here, toys like this weren't sold in my country at our main retailers when I was a kid. These were always collector items that were imported from the States and sold at like comic shops. The back of the packaging there shows the figure roster. We've got the Neo and Trinity figures that we'll be looking at, as well as imagery of the twin enemies from that second film. You can see down below that Morpheus and the twins do connect together to make a scene, which is why I'm not covering Morpheus today because I don't have those twins in my collection. I'd rather look at a full display personally, so he'll just have to wait. The dates down below show the year 2003, I'm guessing that's the release year for this toy line. You've probably already noticed though through these shots that these toys don't appear to do too much. These are display statues really that feature some cool diorama builds for creating some nice displays. Trinity and Neo there pair up together since they are both depicting the same sequence from that first movie. These two feature the same box art as Morpheus. It's the same roster and same blurb about the movie at the back there, so there's no need to spend any time here on those details. These toys have been opened beforehand. I was pretty excited to get these a couple years ago, so I already know the ins and outs there. Before getting into it though, the inside of the box does feature this famous artwork of coding and the roster at the back, but it is actually a fold-out that features advertising inside. The first page there advertises more toys, like the deluxe box set which I have already covered on this channel. We also see the Enter the Matrix game there, which was released I think maybe a week before the second movie came out in cinemas. The next page there features Spawn Mutations figures. I'm presuming the 23rd wave of Spawn toys. The last page there shows the 6th wave of the Movie Maniacs line, a toy line I always desperately wanted when I was a kid. This line here consisted of aliens and predators, the deluxe set there of the Alien Queen. It's very cool stuff. What's cooler are the actual Matrix toys. I usually cover everything first individually before showing the final display, but I can't really do that with these figures. They need to be posed in order to function, so here it is. This is basically what things will look like once everything's been assembled. Both figures there and the scene is more or less complete, separated though because the assembly is a bit odd. I personally found that for both figures I needed to be rather specific in getting my poses this way. I'll explain as I go. They do look pretty cool, and I think it'll be nice having them on my display somewhere. Neo first, since he is the main character there. Neo comes packaged with himself and some weapons, the display plate and the wall that you see him on, and that side column which doesn't actually connect onto the toy. If I remove him from that stand and everything, this here's your figure, and you can see what I meant earlier. He's not very casual looking, the pose is stuck like this and he's kind of static. I'm surprised that they do offer a little bit of articulation. I kind of wonder why, but then I realized it was probably just so that he could fit inside of a toy package. He's based on the first movie too, which is cool because the costume does change between films. The sequel outfit would be made into toy form within the second wave of releases. Likeness wise, it's early 2000s McFarlane, so it's a bit rough. I personally felt like the other Keanu Reeves figures from the line, especially the ones in that second wave, look pretty great. You can move his head and his two arms can be moved up and down, and I think that might be it for the articulation. It's an older toy, so I don't really like experimenting too much with the movements there, just in case I break it. They're very difficult to replace. It's very static, like I said, but we have looked at other McFarlane Matrix toys here on the channel already, so it's not anything new for me. He's got a metal rod in his hand, which is how he will be connecting to that base. The base is very impressive. These things were always very stellar from the McFarlane toy brand. I wish they'd do more here with releases in the modern day, because I just love details like this. Take a look at that lobby structure there. These here separate like so. That is how they've been packaged, so it is very easy to assemble. Taking a look at the details there, we've got bullets on the ground and debris everywhere, reflective tiles and markings that make it all look worn down. I really love the details from this company for the environmental releases. The wall is just as impressive to me. There's cracks all throughout the pieces and more bullet details there. These weird rubber bits are meant to resemble bullets making impact with the wall. I like that addition, even if the execution is a little bit off just because of how much the packaging pushes the display parts down there. They clip in like so, and then you have your display. Trinity is no different there. It's the column piece that I'm a little disappointed by, under the basis that I just assumed that these would all be linked together. It's a nice piece that does stand off to the side, so I don't know, it just feels a little weird to me. I don't know what the prices were for these toys back in the day, so I don't know if maybe this pack was priced differently to others because of weird inclusions like this column piece. We do see today that toys will do that, especially McFarlane. If they include like a bunch of extra accessories or display pieces, then it's going to be more expensive than a figure who doesn't include all of that stuff. So someone would have to let me know if these toys were all priced the same or if different figures had different price points. It's a very detailed display piece though. We've got one half here that looks like the rest of the lobby walls, and the other side has been just shot to shit and crumbled and destroyed. You got some structure wires hanging out there too, and more bullet details of impact and results. It is a very cool piece. I just wish it could function a bit more with the display. Unless I'm doing something wrong here with my display, that is always a possibility. I was trying to see where I could link this thing, but it doesn't seem to connect anywhere. It's just a bit of a shame for me. Neo does also feature some accessories and firearms. It's one of the few times in the series where he'll ever use firearms. You've got an assault rifle there and some pistols. The handguns were pretty tricky to get him to hold on to. Eventually I got there, but his trigger finger doesn't quite match the gun there. It starts damaging the trigger. I was also more interested in seeing if the guns can fit in the holsters, and they can. Almost. That's about as far as I could get it. It does work for the display though, at the very least. The rifle has a strap which could be attached to the figure. It could also be detached from the rifle if that makes it easy for display. The rifle is what I think they want you to pose him with, so that's what we're going to do here. There's only one spot on the base for him to go, and off camera I needed to actually twist him around into it in order to get him to stand there. It helped using the packaging for some key referencing there. It looks cool, and overall I'm still satisfied with that release, but I think I prefer the other Neo figures that we would get later on in the future. The statuesque pose doesn't bother me with these toys anymore since I'm used to them looking this way. I just think I wanted a bit more from that display option. More options for ways to clip them into the scene maybe. The column could be attached, would have been really nice as well. But Trinity here was just as important for me because this is actually my first Trinity figure I have in my collection. She's very similar to Neo in how she operates. Removing her from her display there, we can get a closer look at that figure. It's a different kind of pose for her. It's just as unnatural as Neo's, but it's different. She's got some shininess to her leather jacket and outfit that she made famous. A couple of holsters there with some pistols that cannot be accessed, which is disappointing, but that's okay. Her only accessory is a submachine gun, which she can kind of hold on to. I think I need to actually spend some time here to pose it or something. She features a foot peg, so that's how she's going to connect onto her base. I'll show off the details of hers as well because it's just as amazing as the last one, but pretty similar in the details. You've got more bullet casings on the ground there and some debris that's all over the place, even more of that rubber impact appearances, but hers have some wall chunks that have fallen down there. The column is also very similar, still impressive with the level of details though. The inner wiring pieces have some additional chunks that are just lodged in the middle there, which was the biggest key difference that I could tell immediately. To get Trinity on the stand there, you place that foot peg in the hole, but for whatever reason it just wouldn't work for me. I found that what I needed to do was place her upside down, and then I could turn her around, and then I could make her appear like how she does on the box. She's just as cool as Neo, but she has the added benefit of not having prior comparisons because she's my first Trinity toy that I have. So it's an unfair advantage, but at the very least it's an advantage. And as for linking those two toys together, that was the main appealing factor for me, of course. Well, they don't really. You can see that the pieces don't really match together, and I tried finding a different spot, and then eventually I think I spotted something. You just needed to swap their placements around, and I think they line up like this. It isn't perfect. You can see that the ground for the most part works, but there is a small gap in the wall there. But I think for what I'm wanting for my display, it works. I don't think that minor gap is that noticeable. And then for the columns, you just put them off to the sides, and it somewhat completes your scene. It is cool. Overall, I'm a sucker for these 2000s movie releases from the McFarlane line. I always really liked the look of the toy line even more once the toys made an appearance in the fourth movie. It was like a little meta reference to the collectibles. That was when I really began trying to get my hands on everything that I possibly could that was related to the Matrix. These will look cool on display alongside the other figures I have, and I'd like to take a look at some more figures in the future. The twins are the only ones that I'm missing for the collection, so obviously those are my current collecting goal. Thanks for watching everyone, I hope you all enjoyed. Click right here to go and watch some other Matrix videos, and I'll see you all next time.